Hey guys, Rob Zach from What Culture here. So I'm about to start playing Homefront: The Revolution. This game is the sequel to the original Homefront, which came out several years ago and was met with pretty good success, did pretty well, sold quite well. It's a fairly generic on-rails first-person shooter. I'm quite intrigued by The Revolution actually, because all the attention is being given to the Call of Duties and the Halo 5s, but this offers a bleak dystopian world. Apparently it's a bit similar to Half-Life 2 City 17, and it's an open world where there's a kind of conflict between an authoritarian system and revolution, which we hear of in the title. So I'm intrigued. I think anything open world always kind of pricks my ears up, and the fact that it takes place in a kind of bleak ruined city rather than your usual kind of beautiful sun-kissed landscape is something to keep an eye out for. So I'm going to give it a go right now.
The original Homefront was a rare example of a mid-budget, mid-quality shooter in the last console generation. Yet, despite the supreme domination of the Battlefield and Call of Duty series in the modern-ish shooter genre, and Homefront's middling makeup, it somehow managed to carve out a following for itself and ended up selling over 2 million copies worldwide. When its publisher THQ went bankrupt in 2013, Crytek swooped in to buy the rights to the game before selling them on to German publisher Deep Silver. Homefront: The Revolution takes place a few years after the original Homefront. It's a great premise that's not explored very often. You're part of a US resistance movement fighting to retake the city of Philadelphia from the forces of the Greater Korean Republic, which by some miracle is a peaceful unification of North and South Korea with the North Koreans in charge. You're put in the shoes of generically named resistance fighter Ethan Brady, the youngest member of the resistance, and with your help his potential saviour. The part of the game I played put me in the red zone, a large area in which you can capture control points to create breathing space for the resistance. I found the gameplay to be fairly generic. There were no special abilities to speak of, and I didn't get much sense of openness in approaching my objectives. This could be because the missions I did were early in the game, but it'd have been nice to see a sample of some variety with which you can tackle your objectives, if indeed the game has any. At first glance, I actually quite like the moribund industrial setting, a rusting wasteland with pockets of resistance hiding out in abandoned warehouses and tenements. With that said, the murky brown filter over the screen may start becoming tedious some hours into the game. It's hard to judge an open world game on half an hour of gameplay, so there is hope that my gripes with it will still be addressed.